Hi, this is Lee Bradshaw from Horizon, and you're listening to the Australian Spectrum Show.
And welcome to the Australian Spectrum Show, a radio program that celebrates the wonderful spectrum of talented musicians and performers that we have here in Australia. Well, tonight we have a Horizon special with Lee Bradshaw. Lee Bradshaw is a singer-songwriter and producer, and he's with the, legendary Horizon Australian rock band hailing out of Melbourne. The lineup features Brett Garsted on guitar, and of course he's noted for his work with John Farnham Band and Nelson, and Angus Burchall on drums, also from the John Farnham Band and the Black Sorrows. Richard Panaia on bass from he's worked with Christine Anu, and the late Stuart Chet Fraser on guitar, and of course he's noted for his work with Noiseworks and the John Farnham Band, and also Jimmy Barnes. And it's the final recording performance of Stuart Fraser that we're celebrating. Now, the brand new album is out. It's a wonderful work. It's come out on CD, digital and vinyl, and it's had great critical acclaim from everybody who's reviewed it so far. And I'll be talking to Lee Bradshaw through the show. And of course, Lee Bradshaw, besides being a record producer and musician-singer, he's also noted for his work in the classical music field as a composer of chamber, orchestra and operatic works, and he's known internationally and has some great music. But we're focusing on the rock side of the work that he's been involved in, so do sit back and enjoy. Now, the Australian Spectrum Show has been going for over 16 years. In fact, this is episode 843, and we have some great music for you tonight.
Hi there, this is Russell Morris, and you're on a live 90.5, and you're listening to the Australian Spectrum Show.
I'm in the dark, don't don't I know it? Baby, don't you know who I am? Queen of rock and roll. She's got a stone in her soul. Well, the pain takes its toll, but it lets her roll. Now I need a hater so I don't go mad. I need to be mad so I'm not so sad. 'Cause all of this sad is making me kinda crazy. I want a shade of hazy, like I've forgotten how to be me. I tell you something, tell you why. I wonder if she even digs this tune I got. It don't matter now 'cause I've run my race. Traded in my match when I lost my face. I couldn't find a way to take my place.
Hi, this is Brian Cadd, 90.5 Australian Spectrum Show with Russ Fear.
The sky is blue, like the eye of God, and the sun illuminates every crack in my heart. Everybody's turned away, carving monuments in their own names, looking for a kingdom amongst the stone we built at once. Now get my throne, roll, dancing at the corner of the road. We're dancing at the corner of the road. Let it go, and we'll all find our way back. The sky is black with a fist of rain. No one sees the Caesar's blood could be let from their own vein. All of your disciples are dead, still you search for the bones in your head. Dreaming of a kingdom now, looking at the stones that we built it from. Now get my throne, roll, dancing at the corner of the road. We're dancing at the corner of the road. Let it go, and we'll all find our way back home. Roll, looking for a home when we know there's room. Dancing at the water road, dancing at the water road. Let it go, and we'll find our way back home. Road, dancing at the water road. We're dancing at the water road. Let it go, and we'll find our way back home. At the water road.
Well, you just heard Horizon featuring Stuart Fraser with a tune called Dancing on the Fall of Rome. And before that, a Horizon with Queen of Rock and Roll. And we opened that set with Lee Bradshaw with a song called A Million Years. Lee Bradshaw, it's wonderful to have you on the show featuring this exciting brand new album from the band Horizon that you've been instrumental in, putting this whole production together and getting it released. Now, what have you been doing about the promotion of the new album in terms of, has there been any live gigs and your social medias and online platforms? What have you been doing there?
G'day, Ross. Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here again. And thank you for your support. We were very lucky to have signed basically a record label contract with Pop Preservation Society.
Yep.
And they've done an absolutely wonderful job with putting together our website and handling our social media accounts. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram, and we have a show upcoming in August on the 8th.
Yep.
At the Evelyn, and we're really excited about that. We recently had a media launch event where we previewed the record to various friends, family, and people that we know in the media, to let people know that the record exists, and to tell a little bit of the story about, I suppose, why it's taken us this long to put the record out. It is, as you're probably aware, the last recordings of the great Stuart Fraser. Those of us who knew him well called him Chet. This is the last recording that he made.
Yeah.
And look, it's been an intriguing project, I think, for all of us involved, particularly because of that aspect of Chet passing away.
Yeah.
And just, I suppose, the emotions involved with all of that. But to finally be putting the record out and to have the very gratifying and lovely support of the folks at Pop Preservation Society.
Yeah.
Look, it really, I have to say, it kind of came out of left field a little bit for me, because the last nearly 10 years or so, I have been almost exclusively operating in the classical music sphere as a composer, and I'd spent a large chunk of last year overseas having my opera premiered in the Middle East, and to come back and to sort of get back into these old but pretty well-worn rock and roll shoes is it was a little bit of a surprise, but it was a welcome one. So I'm very, very grateful to the guys at Pop Preservation Society, and they've made our presence online and of course with this show coming up at the Evelyn, they've really done a great job with that. So I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, well, I've actually been noticing you popping up on the socials quite a bit with various different interviews with different radio and media and things like that, and with podcasters and things. So everybody's been doing a great job.
They've really done a lovely job, and I think one of the other things that we're particularly pleased about is the label committed to a vinyl pressing of the album. And in all my years making records, I've never been on vinyl before. So it's a real thrill to hear this record in particular, a record that's so special to all of us, be on a vinyl. I mean, that's how I grew up listening to music on records. And there is something really beautiful about that.
Yeah.
It's almost ritualistic listening, So it's great. And the vinyl looks absolutely beautiful. Leon Zervos up at 301 in Sydney did the mastering on the record and did the vinyl master as well. And it sounds really, really great. So
it does. And I've got a copy of the vinyl as well as the CD as well, and it's just really well presented.
Lovely.
Look, Lee, I think we should go to a track from the album now, and this is Primitive coming up from Horizon from their self-titled album after this message, folks.
Hi, April Aiken here, and you're on a live 90.5 FM, the Australian Spectrum Show with my mate Ross Fear. Hope you're enjoying the music.
Before I go down
this is Glenn A. Baker, rock brain of the universe. You're listening to Ross M. Fears on the Australian Spectrum Show on a live 90.5, a show never to be missed.
Nothing I want, you got nothing I need. You're spending everyone's time, I need the dream release. To come arrest your ass and shut your mouth for me. All the other fucks that you convinced to believe. All the shit that you sell, all the hopes that you bleed. You use the water, you lies to keep you above your knees. Oh yeah. Take a ride like a monster on my back. Running high, running down, running anyway you can. Take a ride like a monster on my back. Running high, running down, running anyway you can. You got nothing I want, you got nothing I need. You're spending everyone's time on a mask with belief. So you can look in their eyes, light on the faces. Those innocent kids who gave you nothing but faith. You told them they'd always start, but they'd only change who they are. Become a little more like the bullshit you are. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take a ride like a monster on my back. Running high, running down, running anyway you can. Take a ride like a monster on my back. Running high, running down, running anyway you can. Like a monster on my back. Take a ride like a monster on my back. I don't need you. I don't need you. Oh yeah. I don't need you. I don't need you. Take a ride, take a ride, take a ride. Oh my back. Take a ride like a monster on my back. Running high, running down, running anyway you can. Take a ride like a monster on my back. Running high, running down, running anyway you can. Like a monster on my back. Take a ride like a monster on my back. The ground is hard and the earth is bare, and it's been such a long time. Nothing but weeds and ants can live here. The clouds hang over our heads, bruised and black as oil. But they blow over like the wind that blows away the soil. The wind that blows a hole through my heart. Now I know that I'm just a small man. I fought as hard as I couldn't hold on with this band. This windswept valley carries 5 generations of my family. 2 world wars, the boom and bust. Now I see that it's down to me. Ooh, they come to stare at me at night, proud and grim in that black and white. And I wonder how hard was their time. Oh, now I see that it's down to me. now I know that I'm just a small man. I fought as hard as I could hold on to this man. Ooh, yeah. Now I know that I'm just a small man. I fought as hard as I could hold on to this land. Still the sun burns down. I'm thinking about a life in town. They won't let me take the gun by myself. And now I see that it's down to me, oh yeah. And now I know that I'm just a small man, just a small man. I fought as hard as I could, but I couldn't hold on to this land. And now I know that I'm just a small man, just a small man. I fought as hard as I could, but I couldn't hold on to this land. Now I know that I'm just a small man, a small man. I'm just a small man.
Hi, this is Jerry Spicer from Men at Work, and you're listening to the Australian Spectrum Show.
In a strange affair, something hung in the air, something unright's going on. An idea was forming, an early warning, something decidedly wrong. I was waking, sleeping, eating, drinking, but never thinking, where am I going? Flat on my back in the middle of the night, I never knowing, where am I going? I turn my face to the sun, get me away from me. I turn my face to the sun, I'm bound to the sea and the sky, get me away from there. I turn my face to the sun. If I drive my car, rubber tires over the tar, something that rides going on. A child burning and looking down, barely hiding its scorn, something decidedly wrong. Yeah, I turn my face to the sun, get me away from there. I turn my face to the sun, I'm bound to the sea and the sky, get me away from there. I turn my face to the sun.
Well, we just heard Horizon featuring Angus Burchall, and that was Turn My Face to the Sun, and that's from an album of Angus Burchall's called Lucky Day. And before that, we had another Angus Burchall track called Small Man, and we opened that set with a track from Horizon from their brand new album we're featuring tonight, and the song is Monkey on My Back. Lee Bradshaw from Horizon. Now, this wonderful new album, and I've got both the vinyl and the CD. It's just a brilliant body of work. But the recording of it, who was involved and when and how and all those things about it? How did it come together?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll try and give the briefest version of it I can. We recorded all the band tracks for the record as it stands, mostly in 2015, and I did the vocal overdubs about 2 years after that. I was a record producer full-time at that point in my career, so I had a number of other projects that created that gap between the band tracking and my finishing the vocals.
Yeah.
But prior to 2015, Stuart Fraser and I had been spending, I'm going to say, a good 18 months to 2 years writing material for a record.
Yeah.
Because most of the songs that we ended up recording in 2015 were older pieces that I had recorded, some of them several times before, and we'd been playing them at gigs or at shows, and we decided we wanted to make a new record, and so Chet and I had been writing for that. And I suppose we got to a certain point, and it actually was Chet's idea that, why don't we actually just cherry pick the songs that really, really work live for us and that have that kind of immediacy, because we had the advantage for the first time of having this incredible and what I consider to be, the very best, most perfect lineup that this project has ever had, which featured not only Chet, Stuart Fraser, but Brett Garsed and Angus Burchall, all from the Farnham band.
Yeah.
Myself and my longtime bass playing partner, Richard Panaia. Yeah. Richard and I had this project going for a good 10 years before that. And we started working with Brett Garsed initially in about 2009, I'm going to say. And then we started, after working with Brett, we got into working with Stuart and Angus. But before that, we'd had other musicians over in Western Australia that we were working with, because Richard and I were both living in Perth.
Yeah.
And we had great musicians there who kind of helped us put a lot of this material together in the first instance. And that was the material that we brought over to Melbourne. And when I moved back here in early 2010 to take up the in-house producing role at Armstrong's there in South Melbourne, that was the material that brought me here to do that. And so we made a record with the lineup of myself, Chet, Brett, Angus and Rich here in about 2010, a record called Lucky Day, and I think we're going to hear some songs off that today. Yeah. So we made that record. That was a brand new album, and then we were doing shows to promote that album, and we were mixing that repertoire in with a lot of the older material that we ended up recording on this record. So some of the songs on the Horizon album, as it stands now, date back to 1999, but they were songs that Chet was adamant we should record with this lineup because they'd never been recorded with this lineup, and we'd had the chance to actually road test them, as it were, in live shows. And so the band tracks that you hear on the record are pretty much live in the studio, with the exception of my vocal overdubs. But what you hear the band doing, that's just the band playing. And we I think we tracked the whole thing in a day.
Wow.
So it's an amazing testament to the quality of those musicians.
Yeah.
And we recorded it at my studio. I'm not there anymore, but the studio that I was working out of called New Village here in Melbourne. And the record was mixed by David Carr. And there's a fantastic story about how he became associated with the project.
Yeah.
But he did the mix at his studio called Range Master. And then we ended up mastering the record up in Sydney with Leon Zervos, who had done a bunch of Noiseworks records, and Chet was really keen to have him do the master on this. So that's the personnel on this record, and we utilised some older tracking that we had done with Brett and with Chet back at Armstrong's, that I'd had multi-tracks from some sessions. For example, Primitive, there are some guitar parts on that tracking that we ended up flying onto the new recordings. But by and large, what you hear is the band playing live in the studio. I was singing in the control room, and we did it all in about a day.
Wow, that's quite an amazing feat. Some people spend months or even a year to put together an album, and
some senses it took decades to put it together. But when we finally came to it, it didn't take very long at all. And when you've got musicians of that caliber, you really you don't have to muck around too much.
No, that's great. Look, wonderful album. And look, I think we should go to another track now from the Horizon album, My Only One, coming up after this message, folks.
Hi, this is Joe Camilleri from the Black Sorrows, and you're listening to the Australian Spectrum Show with Ross Fear.
Right here you make your stand, and in the blinded light you will reach out for me, and I will make this right. Your trust is in my hands, how they colored with light. What will ever come this close to the burden of the sacrifice? When all is done and
there, listeners. This is Shane Howard from Goanna, and you're listening to Ross Fear's Australian Spectrum Show.
You to come around so you can see me just as I am. I want you to know my bed and to understand what's in my head. I was dancing in the moonlight, dancing with a ghost. I was dancing in the moonlight with the girl that I love the most. She said, kiss me one more time and I'll let you go. The moonlight shimmering down with the gravestones all around. My baby's heart makes a normal sound as she looks me in the eye. She says, baby, I'll wear that wedding gown while this banner goes on and buy you down. You keep on dreaming, I will make a sound, but that diamond's gonna pay. Yeah, that diamond's gonna pay. I was dancing in the moonlight, dancing with a ghost. I was dancing in the moonlight with the girl that I love most. Our teenage trills like a work of art as she throws fire from her bow. She smiled and glared with her cold black eyes, then blew a kiss to make me die. Every beat so down to heaven I cried. She took me where I lay. She told me where I lay. I was dancing in the moonlight, dancing with a ghost. I was dancing in the moonlight with the girl that I love most. She said, kiss me one more time, and I'll let you go. And I'll let you go. And I'll let you go. Yeah, and I'll let you go.
Hi, this is Jeff Lang, and you're listening to the Australian Spectrum Show.
Hey, now you wait just a minute. I've got one or two things to say to you. To say to you. Oh, now a chip off the old block. I've got to wondering how things got crazy here. So crazy here. Now that we have all that we had, it's a pity we'll never make the best of our plans. Too late to worry about that, 'cause it's over now. Damn, too bad, it's getting so sad to feel you now. Hey, now you wait just a minute. I've got one or two things to say to you. To say to you. Don't you think those diamonds on the floor may be shining now? But if you look a little more, just the tears I cried for you. Now that we had all that we had, it's a pity we'll never make the best of our plans. Too late to worry about that, 'cause it's over now. Damn, too bad, it's getting so sad to feel you now. Now that you have all that we had, and it's getting so sad, sad. Damn, 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 it's too late to fix this mistake and make the very least of this goddamn heartbreak. Too late to worry about that, 'cause it's over now. Damn, too bad, it's getting so sad to feel you now.
And there was Horizon featuring Aaron Shembrai with a song called Over Now. And before that, Horizon with Moonlight. And that's from Angus Burchall's Lucky Day album. And we opened that set with Lee Bradshaw with the Budapest Scoring Orchestra. And the song was No More Road. Lee Bradshaw from Horizon. Now, of course, there's a great body of songs that we have in the show tonight that are both on the new Horizon album plus plus some additional songs that the group has worked on. What's been the approach to songwriting across this body of work? Is it the words or music comes first?
For me, I think it's always, most of the time, it's music.
Yeah,
I'm a classically trained musician. I started out playing the violin, and that's predominantly what I do now. Is I compose, and I compose in I suppose what you would describe as an art music space.
Yeah.
So music is always, I think that's my point of reference. But of course, when you're dealing with songwriting, you are dealing with a very explicit component, which is lyrics.
Yeah,
And every now and then, it will be a vocal idea. For example, the song "Dancing at the Fall of Rome," which I co-wrote with Stuart Fraser.
yes,
That started with the concept of the title.
yeah,
And I've heard other songwriters talk about getting an idea for a title of a song, and that whatever there is in the title evokes some kind of inspiration that, you know, can lead to the writing of the song.
Yeah.
But for me, I have to say it's generally music, and then I will often write vocal melodies and marry that to a lyric. And sometimes, particularly with the Horizon material, a song like "I Will Be King," for example, I didn't really know what the lyrics were about when I wrote them. And that's not to say that that's the case all the time, but
yeah,
occasionally it is. They were very sort of esoteric. I didn't really know what it was all about. And that's a song which the meaning of it has changed over time. And every time I go back to it, I kind of reinterpret it, and it means something else.
yeah,
Every time I go back to it. But, you know, if I'm writing for an artist, for example, and that could be in any number of different genres of music, whether it's metal or it's country or it's jazz or it's reggae, and we've worked in genres across the board, actually.
yeah,
That's a little bit of a different approach, because I suppose you are, not to sound corporate about it at all, but you're writing to a brief.
yeah,
And the brief is actually what the vision of the artist is. And the reality is that you can be a wonderful singer that doesn't necessarily translate into being a good writer,
yeah,
and vice versa. Good writers are not always good performers. So it's important, though, that if an artist is going to sing a song that you've written, it's something that they can relate to from an aesthetic perspective, as well as the explicit aspect of what the lyrics talk about.
yeah,
I remember we were pitching songs in early 2010 for a Farnham record that he was making at Armstrong's, and you know, unfortunately for me, he didn't take any of the songs that we pitched him. But I remember talking to Stuart and Brett about the way that Farnham chooses songs, because he's not really a writer, but as we all know, he's an amazing vocalist.
yeah,
But what the lyrics say is really important to him, because from his perspective, I've got to stand up on stage in front of thousands of people and present these lyrics.
yeah,
So when you're writing songs for other people, you do have to be mindful of that, as well as honouring what your own creative vision might be for a particular song.
yeah,
And I suppose that's a little bit different. So the spread of material that I guess we're listening to this evening, you know, it does cover that very personal writing approach that you hear on the Horizon record, all the way through to the kind of writing that I might do for an artist, where it might be a country track or a reggae track or a metal track, and it needs to be something that adheres to that artist's vision and not necessarily my own personal one.
Very interesting. Yeah, well, look, there's a great body of songs that we're featuring tonight on the show from Horizon, and that you guys have been involved in. Look, Lee, I think we should go to another track from the Horizon album. In fact, you referred to it, "I Will Be King," coming up after this message, folks.
G'day, this is John Schumann. You might remember me from Redgum, and I'm now with my own band, the Vagabond Crew, and you are listening to Rosphere on the Australian Spectrum Show.
Here I stand in the early light, my hand pressed on my heart. Wait for the chance to have my reign and now they want to touch me. Now they want to be me. Now they think they own me. Now they think they know me. I thought they might love me. I guess I was wrong.
Hi, this is Robbie James from the band Gang, and you are listening to the Australian Spectrum Show on Alive 90.5 FM.
I will be king. You will be queen. Though nothing will drive them away, we can beat them. Just for one day, we can be heroes. Just for one day. I will be king. You will be queen. Oh, nothing will drive them away. We can be heroes just for one day. We can be us. Just for one day. I can remember standing by the wall, and the guns shot above our heads, and we kissed as though nothing could fall. And the shame was on the other side. Oh, we can beat them ever
Hello, this is Mark Gable from the Choir Boys. You are listening to the Australian Spectrum Radio Show, and we really appreciate, and I appreciate you listening to radio. Radio is the best.
When the war is over, got to get away. Pack my bags to no place, in no time nor day. You and I, we used each other's shoulder. Still so young, but somehow so much older. How can I go home and not get blown away? Ain't nobody gonna steal this heart away. Ain't nobody gonna steal this heart away.
And there we just heard Lee Bradshaw featuring Brett Garsted with a song When the War Is Over. And that's from an album that Lee Bradshaw produced for the Association Guitar for Vets Australia. And before that was Horizon with David Carr and Want to Save the World. And we opened that set with Lee Bradshaw with a song called Heroes. Now, Lee Bradshaw from Horizon. In your own musical career outside of Horizon, you've been a classical musician. You've also helped a lot of contemporary popular musicians. But what have been some of the highlight performances for you over the years? I believe, well, that you even had an opera that was performed in the Middle East. Can you tell us about these things?
Sure. Well, look, the opera, which was titled Zarqa Al Yamama, which is the first Western opera that featured the Arabic language, and it told an indigenous Saudi Arabian story of a blue-eyed mystic tribal leader who tries to warn her people about their impending annihilation at the hands of another tribe. And the whole idea was a part of Saudi's Vision 2030, their newly established Ministry of Culture, which I think was a genius concept to take opera, which is, I suppose, a pinnacle art form of Western culture, and marry it with one of their stories and to tell that story in the Arabic language. Opera, as you may be aware, traditionally is in Italian, but of course we have French and German and English, and operas even in Czech and Russian and all manner of European-centric or Eurocentric languages. But to do one in Arabic, and there has been Arabic operas, but they tend to be more folkloristic or musically or musical type pieces, whereas the brief on this is to be a Western opera in the style of, late 19th century masters like Verdi and Puccini, but sung in Arabic. And I have to say that in terms of my composing career, I mean, that's an absolute standout moment for me. And as a colleague of mine said, a very fine cellist here in Melbourne, who's played in many operas here in Australia, she said, every opera is a miracle. And I didn't really understand that until I was on the production and just all of the moving parts. I mean, it's one thing to write the score, of course, which is no small thing in itself. But when you see literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people bonding and banding together to put this thing on, really is a miracle. And it's not just the singers and the orchestra and the choir. It's the staging and the direction and the lighting and the backstage and the costuming and the makeup and the hair. There's just so much to it. There's so much that goes into what you see. And to do that in a place like Saudi Arabia, which had never seen anything like it before, and it was an incredibly bold move on the ministry's part to actually... They wanted to show an opera in Saudi Arabia. They didn't choose Mozart or Puccini or Verdi. They wanted a brand new opera in their language with their story. And I just thought the idea was genius. And to have the opportunity as a musician to work on something that had the potential to have a real impact culturally and on people's lives. I remember one particular incident. Well, actually, there were many of them. But when we were doing auditions for extras there in Riyadh about 12 months before the production, all of these young people would do their auditions, and afterwards they'd rush up to us and oftentimes visibly emotional, crying and just saying things like, we never ever thought we'd have the opportunity not only to see something like this in our country, but to be a part of it. And that was incredibly gratifying. And it felt like I was vindicated. There were a few people that were, I suppose, some detractors that were a bit like, well, gee, Saudi doesn't have the greatest track record when it comes to certain things, particularly women's rights and so on and so forth. But the country has gone through a period of such unbelievable progressivism that I have to say to those people, you really need to go and see it for yourself. And I'm very happy to say that the three organisations that we worked with there, the Ministry, the Logistics Group, and the Commission itself, the Theatre and Performing Arts Commission, probably 70 to 80% of the staffers were all young women. And the two IC actually in charge of the entire project was an incredibly intelligent and eloquent woman who actually had a doctorate in theatre studies. So it just isn't what you think it is. And And what's happening there is really, really incredible. And to be a part of that is, I mean, I'm incredibly proud. And I don't think I really, even 12 months after the premiere of the work, I don't think I'm really fully cognizant of the impact that it potentially has on future generations there. And, we're just waiting now to see what happens next with that. I know that the ministry in Saudi would like to see that tour around the world, and I would love to see that one as well. So, look, I know I've gone on and on and on about it, but it was such a massive highlight in my career that it's hard to get that one.
Well, it's a major undertaking and a major achievement. You should be very proud of it, and and to embrace it in the context of another culture as well. That's absolutely amazing, Lee. Look, Lee, I think we should go to another track now from the Horizon album, and coming up, the song is "Forever on My Mind." After this message, folks.
Hi, this is Phil Manning here, and you're listening to the Australian Spectrum Show with Ross Fear on Alive 90.5 FM.
You'd never know the songs for you. Now we're strangers through and through. I got no more tears to cry. You wouldn't shed one if you tried. But I expected much from you. At least I did expect that much from you. I started to understand that you let go a long, long time ago. A long, long time ago. The time it takes to learn to regret is the whole damn time I've been trying to forget, but I'll never be alone again. So forever on my mind. The only way I can be with you is to close my eyes and hope the dream I'm watching will come true. Will come
this is Bill McDonough from Australian Crawl and author of the new book Sons of Beaches, here on the Australian Spectrum Show.
Strung out, burnt out, like a wine. You got a little piece of me inside of you, still ain't satisfied. You've been eating up my heart to feed the fire down below. Now you're leaving with my boots on, and I know you ain't going home. Oh, woman, let me tell you how it's done. There's a long, hard road between sex and making love, like finding red between water and blood. You can have sex without the other, but you can't live on just one. That's the difference, oh woman, between sex and love. Yeah. A broken mirror, an empty suitcase, like the mess you leave me in. I'll try to tame the beast, the piece of meat still can't keep you here. Sacrifice between these sheets without the resurrection day. Inside this tomb, you keep your wound. Yeah, baby, have your way. Oh yeah. Oh, woman, let me tell you how it's done. There's a long, hard road between sex and making love, like finding red between water and blood. You can have sex
Hey, I'm Steve Kilby from the church and many other things, and you're listening to the Australian Spectrum Show.
Picking up the pieces of life I've left behind, keeping everything that I have to find my desire. Everyone has their own purpose. What is mine? Everything that I ever loved has burned to ashes. And my tears, they
And there was a track called Victoria Kay was the artist, actually, and the song was Lucuna, and that was, one of the things that Lee Bradshaw had produced. Another artist he'd produced for is Leon, and the song was I Hate the Way That I Love You. And we opened that set with Horizon, with a song from their latest album. In fact, this is their debut single from the self-titled album, and it's called Sex and Love. Now, Lee Bradshaw from Horizon, and look, we're featuring that album and the music the group's made. But you yourself, you've been involved in music producing for a number of years now. What's involved in helping an artist, producing a music for someone else? What's the producer's outlook on that?
Well, that's quite a question.
Yeah.
I guess music production, from my perspective, and I feel fortunate that I came up at a time where I started, I suppose, my informal apprenticeship in a studio called Planet over in Western Australia in a suburb called Subiaco. And at that time, we were still using large format consoles and 2-inch 24-track analog tape, and it was just before digital came in. So I got to experience the analog world transitioning into the digital Pro Tools world, for example.
Yeah.
And I suppose at that time, at that time, all of the different roles that would go into the production of a record, i.e. the record producer, then you would have the mix engineer and the recording engineer were two different people, and the arranger would be a different person, and then all of the musicians would be different people, and there would be people that would come in that would be keyboard techs, for example, that would actually build synthesizer sounds, or there'd be guitar techs that would set up amps, and drum techs that would set up and tune drums and mic drums, and there was a whole technical cast that would go into making records. And these days, you've got young kids that can go out and buy an Apple MacBook Pro and a USB microphone, plug it in, and use some of the technology there and do stuff in their bedrooms and call themselves record producers. And I suppose in a very simplistic sense, they're producing music and they're releasing it. So in that sense, they are actually record producers.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, the producer was, and I guess because of the era that I came up in, was always like what a record producer is to music is what a film director is to movies.
Yeah.
And you're the person that's responsible for overseeing every element of a record from zero to completion. And so that you're involved in song choices, you're involved in the arrangements, you're involved in the kind of sounds that the guitarist might pull, you're involved in the kind of skins that the drummer might be putting on their toms, because maybe you want something that's a little bit more rock, or maybe you want something that's a little bit more jazz, or the kind of sticks, or all kinds of things like that, to the way that a song is mixed, whether there's a particular kind of reverb used on the vocal, and then of course there comes into that whole picture coaching the performances, making sure that you're getting the right parts from the musicians, making sure that you're getting the right kind of performance from the singer.
Yeah.
Even something as small or seemingly insignificant as the tempo of the song, which can change everything. The key of the song. I remember having a conversation about choosing the key for a singer, and at least with the Horizon stuff, for example, I would always choose keys where it would put the vocal into a place where if the key was a little bit higher, the vocal had to reach a little bit, and there's an energy that you don't need to put in, or you don't need to think about putting into it, because you're already reaching.
Yes.
And sometimes that's really important. If the key is too comfortable, then the energy is wrong in the performance.
Yeah.
And all of this adds up to the final summary recording that you get when you've made a record. And that was like that. We did a record with Christine Arnoux, who's an amazing Australian singer. And we did, her idea was to do a record of Aretha Franklin songs. And I think you're going to play a track off that tonight.
Yeah.
She was understandably intimidated at the prospect of taking on, and Aretha Franklin, to my mind, is probably the pinnacle of contemporary vocals in the last 100 years. I mean, she was just such a devastatingly amazing singer.
Yeah.
And so Christine, again, understandably intimidated at the prospect of delivering vocal performances that not only lived up to the originals, but actually provided something that would be uniquely hers. And I remember when we started that process, she was in the booth singing away, and sounded great. She sings great. But it was kind of a little bit like listening to a cover singer, and we weren't really finding the thing that was going to make the record stand out. And I ended up going in and sitting about 3 feet away from her in the booth, and kind of it would have looked absurd to somebody from the outside, but it was almost like I was doing some kind of temporary dance to sort of inspire her to push where I wanted her to push and to pull back where I wanted her to pull back. And we ended up getting the most amazing vocal performances. And I would suggest, and I think she would probably agree, perhaps begrudgingly, that they were some of the best vocal performances of her career, and she really sang the hell out of that record. And but they don't sound like Aretha Franklin; they sound like Christine Anu, and testament to her as a vocalist. But you know, I remember listening to David Foster talk about working with, as he described it, some of the best singers in the world, Barbra Streisand, Michael Bolton, Whitney Houston. And he said, it's my job to take these amazing vocalists and get them to give me performances that they didn't know they were capable of. And I thought that was a really interesting perspective on producing, at least from the vocal perspective, because, of course, in a pop song, the vocal is the thing that everybody listens to. We don't get an opportunity to talk too much about all of the other aspects that create the song, create the arrangement, create the bed that the vocalist gets to perform on top of, that platform that a great vocalist can give a performance to, which, of course, is something that is so important, because without it, there's no platform for the singer to give that performance. But look, it's quite complex, and that's how that's my approach to production. Of course, taking in the vision of the artist and being cognizant of their aesthetic, and making sure that all of the decisions that go into the final product are stacked toward that vision. That's very, very important.
Well, look, you've got some wonderful experience there and created some wonderful productions. It's great to be able to visit some of them in our playlist tonight. So, Lee, I think we should go to another track now from the Horizon album, Head Like a Hydro, coming up after this message, folks.
Hi, folks. This is Mike McClellan, and you're listening to the music enthusiast of his own generation, Ross Fear, on Alive 90.5 FM, where all the good music can be heard.
Crowded crawl space, darkened by pretend. Catastrophic cataclysms eking through his head.
G'day, Lockie Dolly from the Lockie Dolly Group here. You're listening to the Australian Spectrum with Ross Fear.
Guessed it would come to this. We could pretend nothing's wrong, but for what? Here we go once again, saying all of those things like we're not even friends. Time to move on, or keep going round and round and round and round again. Who would have known how this would take its toll? When your heart falls so hard, it feels like a storm. Give me all or nothing, baby. Here we go once again, saying all of those things like we're not even friends. Is it time to move on, or keep going round and round and round and round again? Tell me, are we going to close the door? Saying all the same things 'cause we've been here before. Is it time to let go, or keep going round and round and round and round again? Darling, I'm getting sick and tired of playing this crowd. They've seen all my moves and all my tricks. Now, baby, that's that and work out. Oh, yeah. Let's close the curtains, take one last bow, say goodnight, say goodbye. Here we go once again, saying all of those things that we're not even friends. Is it time to move on, or keep going round and round and round and round and round and round? Tell me, are we going to close the door? See the saying all the same things 'cause we've been here before. Is it time to let go, or keep going round and round and round and round again? Baby, baby, is it time to move on, or keep going round and round and round and round again?
Used to be so happy, now I'm crazy all the time. Since I've been wondering just where you spend your nights. But I'm not gonna cry no more. And there's one thing I've gotta do. There's an empty space inside my heart where there used to be you. What's it gonna take to make it right? What's it gonna take to get you back in my Now I'm crying all the time, trying to get to sleep at night when you ain't there to hold me tight. But I'm not gonna cry no more, and there's one thing I've gotta do. There's an empty space inside my heart, but it used to be you. Used to be you, yeah. What's it gonna take to make it right? What's it gonna take to get you back in my life? It only takes a moment to change the rest of your life. Tell me what's it gonna take to make it right? Going round and round thinking about what did you want? Thinking I'm such a fool. And if you could only see me now, what would you do? What would you do? Yeah. What's it gonna take to make it right? What's it gonna take to get you back in my life? It only takes a moment to change the rest of your life. Tell me what's it gonna take to make it right? Oh, tell me what's it gonna take to make it right?
Hi, this is Dom Turner from the Backsliders on Alive 90.5 FM Australian Spectrum Show.
And there was another track produced by Lee Bradshaw, The Sonnets, which features Luce Franco, Leon and Shannon, and that was Gimme Shelter. And before that, Leon with What's It Going to Take? And we opened that set with Luce Franco with Round and Round. Lee Bradshaw from Horizon. Now, well, we've got a lot of year ahead and you're heading overseas very soon. So what's in store for the band Horizon in the future and also yourself, separately, your own musical career?
Well, we're really excited about this record coming out. I'm actually really pleased that you're showcasing this evening some of the archived material that we've got, which I suppose at some point we'll talk about creating a release for some of that material as well, stuff that I'm really pleased and proud of. We've got our show coming up in August, and look, we're just going to see how that goes. I haven't performed for 10 years live. I pretty much kept my performing and singing stuff to studio projects, so it'll be an interesting experience for me to actually get in front of a band again.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that all goes. I mean, if there's enough interest out there for us to do more performances, and I'm sure we'd love to do that. In terms of my other work and continuing on with my classical composing work, I've got a number of commissions that are ongoing at the moment. I'm about to start working on a second opera project. I've got something coming up in October with the Australian Youth Orchestra and the Flinders String Quartet.
Yep.
I've just been recently commissioned to write a piece of music for the Australian Festival of Chamber Music in Townsville, which is a co-commission with the Brundabar Arts Festival in the UK, which is a really interesting commission because it's a new piece of music which is in response to an unfinished work by a composer by the name of Gideon Klein, who was a Jewish composer working in a concentration camp during the Second World War, where he was murdered as a very young man. But before he died, he composed some absolutely stunning music, and he happens to share. Well, he's a Czech composer.
Yeah.
And my grandmother was born in Czechoslovakia, so there's a little bit of a connection there, which I find rather interesting.
Yep.
I'll be in Europe during May this year to finish up a number of recordings of some new music, which I'll be releasing in 2026. Of course, that's all in the classical music space.
Yep.
And coming back to Horizon again, I guess we'll see how things go. Look, over the next year or so, perhaps we'll even think about doing a new record and see what happens.
All right. Well, and good luck with all of that, and good luck with your travels overseas. In fact, you're heading off very soon for that. So, but I think we should go to another track now from Horizon. This was a song called Hey Brother, coming up after this message, folks.
Hi, this is Dave Tice. You're listening to the Australian Spectrum Music Show with Ross Fear, and ladies and gentlemen, keep listening.
Noise that feels right. Bang it louder now, 'cause you think that you won the fight. Ain't right. You ain't right. Hey Johnny, get your gun. The power feels right. Better aim it straight now, son. Is the target in your mind? Out of sight. You ain't right. Hey brother, check your place. You're hanging out like you won this race. Hey brother, look at my face. Run around here like I owe it something to you. Yeah.
Hi, this is Herm Kovac from TMG, or Ted Mulrigang, as some of you may have known of us, and you're on Ross Fear's Australian Spectrum Show.
Way back then, we were just friends. The shoulder that I used to cry on, and now, with no more broken hearts or tears, a brand new start. With you by my side, I've been waiting for someone like
this is Mark Ferry. You may remember me from such bands as The Models and the Rockers Orchestra. I'm coming to you on the Australian Spectrum Show on Australian Community Radio.
And in that set, we had some more music produced by Lee Bradshaw. That was Mama Jules with Flow. In the middle of the set, we had Christina New with the song Respect. And we opened that set with Annie Watt with Better When You're Around. Lee Bradshaw from Horizon. I want to thank you for making available, the album. I got it in advance, but also a lot of the additional material that you'd worked on producing, and also other material that's not yet released from Horizon. It's quite a unique opportunity to showcase quite a diversity of music there. So thank you, Lee, and thank you for being available for our interview.
No, look, Ross, it's really wonderful to speak to you today, and it's always great to get the opportunity to speak at length about music making that you don't often get to do when you're doing media for a project. And of course, it's wonderful to have the opportunity to showcase some of the other material that we've worked on over the years, and of course, just the support that independent artists get at community radio, and the ongoing life in that space is really, really wonderful to see that people are still tuning in and using it as a platform to discover music. It's wonderful. So I appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Yeah, look, it's wonderful being involved in community radio. We have that freedom to showcase quite a diversity of music. There's, I think, over 400 odd community radio stations around Australia, and I saw recently in some stats that 57% of Australians listen to community radio in any given month. So there is an audience out there, and it's wonderful to have the opportunity to interview people like yourself and to showcase your music. But I think we should go to another track now from the Horizon album, You Know Who I Am, coming up after this message, folks.
Hi there, it's Peter Farnham from Bunkrash Opera, and you are listening to the Australian Spectrum Show.